how to have difficult conversations. Oh, it's the one that I speak about the most. It's the one that most people come to me for. It's like, how do I tell people fill in the blank in a nice way? Being nice is part of the problem. I'm going to tell you that right now, right? There's a difference between being nice and being kind. So, what's the difference? Nice will tell you what you want to hear. Kind will tell you what you need to hear. And so I'm always kind, and that's what I want for you. I want you to be kind. I want you to stop being nice, okay? Because many times when we're being nice, the message, it's watered down, it's filtered, and the person walks away not knowing what you were trying to say. So I'm going to give you a framework today that will help you have better difficult conversations, and we are starting with you. Listen, some people don't like my methods because I'm never going to tell you what to do and to get that person to your side. That's not what we do. I have you start with curiosity, and I have you start with you first, because this is what I've learned. See, I was an executive. I took so many of those classes. I did all of the strength finders, the Myers-Briggs, all of those, which was external looking, but that didn't make me feel better on the inside. What did make me feel better and help me get to the root of the issue was starting with myself first. So that's what we're doing today. I can't wait for us to dive in. Let's go. This is a framework that is vital for you when you're walking into having difficult conversations and when you get offended. This is what is going to save every single one of your relationships and your conversations. So we're going to dive into my data framework. We're going to start looking at every single interaction as information. It's just data. They're data points, okay? Think about them as data points on a spreadsheet. It's just information. This is especially going to work when you get offended, okay? Now let's dive in. We're going to start with D. Our first D, or our only D, stands for discover. Discover. We want to discover our emotions. So the next time you get offended, I want you to stop in the moment. Listen, all of this can happen in the same conversation pretty quick. I want you to stop and say, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Don't just react. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Okay. Now, you're going to allow the person to continue speaking. And while they're speaking, I want you to think, well, what am I feeling? Why am I offended? Why am I upset? Why am I triggered? Why? I want you to start thinking about, you're starting to get curious with your emotions first. And then I want you to get curious with the other person. Why are they saying this? Now, if you go into the notes, there's a free PDF there for you that will give you every single question you need to ask them throughout this process so that the conversation gets better and deeper. But one question you could ask them is, how did you want me to feel when you said that? Right? We're in the discovery phase. Okay, if you've ever been in sales, you know, discovery phase, we're figuring things out. And so you could ask them, if you're offended or you're upset or you're confused, hey, how did you want me to feel when you said that? When you say that, what is it that you actually mean? Tell me more. You could say any one of those things, and we are in the discovery phase, okay? As we're in the discovery phase, and now we've asked a couple of questions, right? We said, tell me more. We said, how do you want me to feel when you said that? We've asked a couple of questions, okay? Then we go into the A. We're going to actively listen. We're going to listen. God gave us one mouth and two ears because we have to listen. We're not taught this in school, right? Most of the time, we're taught to justify, we're taught to explain, we're taught to defend. We are not taught to listen. I want you to start listening, okay? When we're in the discovery phase, we then listen We actively listen. We don't listen to jump in. Most people listen and it's like double dutch. They're ready to jump in. I don't want you to do that, okay? I want you to actively listen to what the person is saying with love, with curiosity, okay? So we're asking questions. We're discovering what's going on here. What's really going on here? We're trying to get to the root of the issue. See, when we don't do it this way, we put Band-Aids on things. We don't get to the root of the issue. My way through the data framework is going to get you to the root of the issue. Okay? Next up, this is where it starts getting really good. Now, you're asking targeted questions. Okay? Now you're asking targeted questions. See, before you were asking discovery phase, tell me more. Now you're saying, when you say X, I'm hearing you say Y. Tell me more. Do I have that right? When you say X, can you give me an example? Are you the only one who feels this way? Why didn't I hear more? See what I'm saying? You're asking very specific question based on what they told you because you were actively listening. You following me? You following me? You never hear? Okay, right? So we asked, okay, tell me more. We're not getting offended because we started discovering our own feelings first. We're not allowing our emotions to take over. I like emotions, but I never want us to be emotional because we will never get to the root of the issue. We'll continue putting Band-Aids on things. See, but here's the thing. Here, especially, you have to have courage. You have to have courage, and you have to be able to understand they might tell you things that you don't want to hear. They may tell you things that you don't want to hear, but this is how we get to the root of the issue. By the way, this is great, a great framework for work, but it is an amazing framework for your personal life. Because we're quick to tell you what you are, tell you what to do, we'll have the same argument from 1995 to now. You guys have been having the same argument for over 20 years or 30 years. I don't want you to do that anymore, okay? That stops today because you're going to use my framework. Stop having the same discussion and the same argument for years. Let's get to the root of the issue. When I have people use this, they typically will tell me that they had better conversation than they've ever had with the people at work and at home, okay? So we're going to discover what's going on here. Well, what's going on with me first? That's the first thing you want to say, like, why am I triggered? Why am I offended? Why do I care? Why haven't I said anything, okay? We're going to actively listen after we start asking them some discovery questions. Then we start asking targeted questions. When you say X, you ask them, what do you mean? Give me an example. Has this ever happened before? Then the last A, and this is going to be your absolute favorite. Now we articulate. Okay. Now is when you articulate yourself. See, if you start speaking up here, you don't know all the facts. You don't know all the facts. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're feeling. You don't know what they're really mad about. You don't know why they're saying what they're saying. If you wait and do all of this first, now you're speaking from a place of power. Now you're speaking from a place of where you actually have the advantage. See, what most people don't realize is that the person asking the questions is the one in control of the conversation. And so that's why I say up here, listen, we got to discover. We're asking a couple of questions. Tell me more. What do you mean? Then over here, we're actively listening. We're using our ears, okay? The ones that God gave us. And then we're asking more questions because this is how you control a conversation. Now you articulate yourself with power. Now you have all of the facts because you asked the tough questions, because you had the courage. Now you can articulate yourself. And now you put yourself in a place of power, not of getting back on that hamster wheel, arguing about the same thing over and over and over again. So I want you to speak from a place of power. I want you to step into your power. And the way you do that is through using your voice. And the way you do that is by using your words. The way you do that is by asking questions. So go ahead and use my data framework from now on. Don't forget to go ahead and go in the notes, and I give you a list, a plethora of questions you could ask in any conversation that will put you in a power position and have you increase your influence and bring people to you instead of pushing people away. Because in your mind, you think tough conversations mean you're pushing people away, but actually, you're actually bringing people in when you can have real conversations about the tough stuff. Okay, so here's a quick recap. This is my data framework that you will start using in every single conversation. We're starting with discovery. You're discovering how you feel. You're asking questions to find out and discover how they feel, right? You're actively listening. You're using the ears that God gave you, even though we did not learn this in school. From now on, you're going to actively listen. You're not going to just jump in. It's very annoying when people do that. You know that. You're going to ask targeted questions. You're going to have the courage to ask these targeted questions. Then you're articulating yourself from a place of power. Okay? Don't forget, grab the free PDF in the show notes. If you like what you heard, if you apply it, when you apply it, because I trust you, I know you're going to apply it. I want to hear all about it. Let me know in the comments. I love seeing your comments. It brings me so much joy. Don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe, and send this to your boss. I know they need it. No, send this to a friend, send it to somebody at work so that you can have better conversations and resolve issues faster. I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the next one. I wanted to stop for a moment and let you know and remind you to go ahead and grab the free PDF in the notes. And I wanted to tell you that today's episode is sponsored by me and Instagram. Come and follow me on Instagram. Listen, I'm there. That's where all the behind the scenes, that's where all the real time action is. You'll learn about my events, my workshops, everything. I'm always in my stories. Come and hang out with me. Let me know you came from YouTube. I'll see you on Instagram at jessicarivera.co. I'll see you there.